You can hear Wu-Tang's secret $2.2 million album for $1. What up, words? Your boy Challz Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. Listen, do you guys remember that secret Wu-Tang album that RZA and Cilvaringz put together back in 2014 and sold it in 2015 to the infamous internet's worst, most hated, fiendish goon, Martin Shkreli, who had the balls and the gall to go up against the great Ghostface? He is another one of those D-list villains in New York that I like to talk about, such as the likes of Lord Jamar and others, right? Martin Shkreli had bought this secret album. It caused a lot of friction within the Wu-Tang clan. It's called Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, that they didn't even know they were recording. And RZA had guys do verses here and there, and they pieced the whole album together and sold it at auction for, they were saying at the time, $2 million. Some people said $1 million, some people said $2 million, but the official number is on record as about $2 million, right? So Martin Shkreli bought this album just because he could. This guy had so much money. He was so damn, like, he's a fiend, gang. He was, I think he pushed up the AIDS medication to like $600 or some ridiculous shit. He had to go before he had to go before Congress and explain why he needed to do this. And he sat up there with a smirk on his face. He was just a fiend, gang. But at the end of the day, this cad, right, bought this album just because he had so much money and had nothing to do with it. And he wasn't really even the funny thing is, he wasn't even a Wu-Tang fan like that. He just wanted to have something cool, right? So let me read this article. But they're saying that album, the government seized that album from Martin Shkreli because they seized his assets when they raided him for this, that, and the third. And they had that album for a while. They finally sold it for $2.2 million. So they got their money. Someone else bought it. But that firm is now allowing you to hear that album for $1. And I'm going to explain to you how, because they're not legally able to let people hear the album. That was the whole thing about the secret Wu-Tang album. You weren't supposed to let anyone hear it for, it says, until 2103, almost 100 years. RZA's like that, gang. But let me read this article and have a conversation so you can figure out if there is indeed a way to hear this album. It has 31 tracks. So let me talk about this. The U.S. government reveals a 7-figure price tag for the sale of the one-off Wu-Tang Clan album, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. Farmer bro Martin Shkreli originally purchased Once Upon a Time in Shaolin for $2 million back in 2015. The price tag around the government sale of the Wu-Tang's Once Upon a Time Shaolin album has now been revealed. According to Bloomberg, the Department of Justice sold the one Wu-Tang artifact for $2.23 million to WTC Endeavors Limited, a Hong Kong-based company, in 2018. All right, so they never told how much they sold it for, but now it's been revealed. For those that don't recall the naughty history of the Once Upon a Time, farmer bro Martin Shkreli, who purchased the only copy of the 31-track album in 2015 from the Wu-Tang for about $2 million. Later in the year, he was charged with security fraud and convicted in 2017. So he had the album for 2 years, when that was just sitting on his, wherever he had it at, he had it in his house, and he became infamous for going back and forth with different various Wu-Tang members who were upset, rightfully so, because a lot of them felt RZA did them dirty. They didn't say what the project was. They never heard this. They never heard the project. RZA sealed the shit away and then sold it for $2 million, which a lot of people like myself thought that was a little bit, I'm just gonna be honest, just a little shady. And I still don't know. I think they were in court trying to fight RZA for royalties for this thing. I think RZA wasn't even giving them royalties. I'm not sure how that ended up, but I'm almost certain that there was a real problem with, I believe Raekwon. I think Method Man didn't like it, and I believe a few of them had issues and went to court about the whole way this thing went down. And what's my guy? I can't remember my guy. My guy Golden Arms wasn't having it. He was one of the ones that had a real big problem with RZA for a while. So what happened was, at that point, after the government seized it, they sold it. And it says that later in the year, after he was charged In addition to a 7-year prison sentence, Shkreli also had to forfeit $7.4 million in assets, which included this album. The U.S. Attorney's Office in New York announced in 2021 that the federal government had sold the album to satisfy the outstanding balance owed by Shkreli, but the price tag has been kept secret until earlier in July. Pleaser DAO, a crypto collective, is the current owner of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin after purchasing the album through an intermediary. The New York Times reported in 2021 that Pleaser DAO paid an equivalent of $4 million in cryptocurrency tied to the dollar for rights to the exclusive project. So apparently they bought it, but it looks like the amount is being contradicted now, because the Times reported that's $4 million, but now they're coming out saying that it was really only 2.2. And that these people have it. So this is where I say you can listen to it. This is the only part that matters to anybody that's a hip-hop head, and we can see if we can make any sense to this, all right? Last year, Pleaser DAO turned the album into an NFT, right? Remember those? Remember that rush to make everything NFTs, and then it just died out? Which allows the public to donate $1 and hear 5 minutes of Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. While the album can't go to public consumption until 2103, private listening parties are okay. Each $1 purchase takes 88 seconds off the countdown. So it looks like as long as they're doing like one-on-one listenings for the dollar, then people can hear it. It says for 5 minutes. So if you want to give 5 minutes of that, now I don't know how many times you can just keep paying $1, which would seem like if you just keep paying $1, you can just keep hearing the fucking album. I don't know. But 5 minutes of it, it's a 31 track. That's damn near a whole song. So what, that's about $30, I guess. If it's 31 tracks, song is 1 minute, like, you know, I mean, song is a couple minutes and you get to hear 5 minutes. You can damn near hear the whole album, apparently, for $30 or less. So it's possible to hear this whole shit for, you know what I'm saying, about $25, $30. Let's just be honest. And apparently there's a stipulation where every time you pay, they're taking 88 seconds off this 100 fucking years. So I guess that people are paying it and it's coming down. So in a weird way, that's exciting news if you're a Wu-Tang fan. I'm sure that there are a billion people out here, like in different countries, and China and different, you know what I'm saying, parts of the world, who will put $1 up they're banking that someone will pay $1 to hear 5 minutes of this Wu-Tang album. But this thing was a real big deal back in the day. It was very controversial because most of these guys they didn't even want to talk about it because they were so upset. Cilvaringz defended it. RZA didn't really have much to say in regards of, okay, you know, this was right, this was wrong. In RZA's mind, it was a work of art that he kept secret from them, even the closest members, because he didn't want to tell them. He just wanted this to be what it was, and he had in his mind he was going to sell it, and he sold it. I didn't agree with it, but it was, in hindsight, it's something that it's historic. And this is always this myth out there, this mythological thing that, okay, at some point you may be able to hear this, you know, this work of art. They're claiming that this is a work of art, and no one ever done this. No one ever sold an album for $2 million. No one ever made a secret album and put it up for auction. So as far as I know, so RZA did do something historic. And I know the members of Wu, they didn't appreciate it. They thought it was very disrespectful. Some of them looked at it as literally almost criminal in nature. But at the end of the day, when you peel back the layers, and 100 years from now, they're going to say RZA did something great. Some people are going to say it's great, whether the thing sounds great or whatever, because they have done music after that, and some of them, you know, they're doing their final tour right now, and some of the music they're making is still good. So maybe this joint got bangers on it, maybe it doesn't, but this, at the end of the day, it's a bunch of collective of verses that are going to be kind of incohesive in a way if they're just putting a bunch of verses. But end of the day, I'm going to have to say, okay, they changed the game of hip-hop. Somebody else is going to do this in a better way and do it the right way, and everybody's going to be involved, and they're going to sell it again. But there aren't many crews or there aren't many artists that could pull this off. I'm just going to be honest. There's only probably a handful of people that can pull off a secret one copy offer that you can only get at an auction, and it's $1 million. It ain't that many artists. I'm just gonna be honest. Probably a handful of people that can pull it off. So salute to the Wu, salute to RZA for doing something. I know a lot of people felt it was shady, and at the end of the day, you know, that's gonna be for history to decide. But I feel like at the end of the day, you got a chance to hear this album if you want to hear it. I always thought, I heard that Shkreli played it for a few people in a couple parties, but there ain't that many people that's heard it. So if you hear it, you're gonna have to, you can relish in the fact that you're one of the few people who's ever heard this secret album, and you can let us know what you think about it. All right, gang, listen, I'm out here. I ain't got nothing else to say about this. The what hats they up. You know what I'm saying? The shit's looking good, and the shirts and all that. I'm just gonna be honest, merch. Go down in the below the video. Tap in. You know what I mean? Check it out and send me the copy. Send me whatever you got. The what show at Gmail. Whatever you buy and where, I'm gonna put it up on all the platforms. You know what I'm saying? So just tap in to what show. Every Wednesday night we go live. We just went live last night. It was crazy. One of the craziest shows we ever had. We had a great time. Make sure you tune in. We go live about 9:15. 200 people plus in the chat every week. Make sure you one of them. Let us know what you think. Also, head on over to black-yeti.com. Check that out. Make sure you let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental US. And every Monday night, we got a new show, hip-hop show called Underground Edge Live, where we go about 2-3 hours showing underground videos that include myself and other artists. All right, tap in. Let me know what you think. I'm going to catch up on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end. And then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh,